Hey friends, today I am doing some stash busting and pulling out a Little Latte. This is still available on my website. It is very discounted and it's part of the last chance sale. So be sure to head over, I'll have it linked down below. But I picked this up a long time ago. It was in my first Stampin' Up! Order. And I absolutely loved it. I'm a coffee drinker, so I needed it. As you can see, I've already cut into it and I've fussy cut some of these cups, but you can use this for so much more. I've seen it used for mud splatter and just so fun. And look at how usable these two are. They look springy to me with the blue and then the plaid, but then of course you have your coffee beans. So I am going to be creating a coffee themed layout today. And I don't have any photos for this layout. I just wanted to play with this fun, cool paper. So this is just going to be a single page. I had this paper with the little latte heart. I had that already cut and in the bag. I just matted it in with espresso paper, espresso cardstock. And I just thought, let's use that scrap up. So I'm thinking of having that there. And then I pulled out the coffee bean paper and I thought that could help brace that so that it's not just floating in the middle of the page. To split up that line, I'm bringing in a little bit of Glacier. And this one is a close to my heart color, but you can definitely use the coordinating blue that's in that stripe paper. Let me grab that. Lost Lagoon is the coordinating blue, but I thought Glacier went nicely with it. And this is the light side, this is the dark side. You could really use either side of Glacier. These are the photo mats. So I'm wanting that in the center and then the photo mats kind of like this maybe. I could have it off to the side a little bit more. I'm not quite sure on that. And then I got the suite. So I also got the photopolymer Latte Love stamp and the thin cuts. I just added them into the same case. I cut out this pot of coffee. So here's the little coffee, the handle, the lid, and then I used some like really thin tissue paper type to cut out the glass. And so this will show through the background here, hopefully. I might need to do the darker brown for the coffee too. We'll see how that looks when I get it on the page. And then I also went around and there's a coordinating thin cut, these here, to cut out some of the pattern papers. So this one is just for the stamp. You can see here, that coordinates with that. And then these I fussy cut. They don't have coordinating thin cuts, but then this pattern does. So then you can take this thin cut and cut out these coffee cups. So I went through and I cut out some of these and some from that other pattern paper, and I'm just going to play around with those. I cut a whole bunch. I probably won't use all of them. I even cut out some of the half ones because they can tuck behind things. So I cut out a whole bunch of those, and then there's also a stamp on here that says, "You're the best part of my day." So I'm thinking that'll be a nice little sentiment mixed in with my clusters. I got my base pieces laid down here, and the reason I did colored photo mats is because I print my photos with a white border. So I'll just trim my photos down slightly smaller than the 4x6 and 3x4. I'm thinking of having my little coffee pot over on this side since it's kind of angled that direction. So I'm thinking right in this area, and then maybe having a cup or something down below here. Bring in a little more color. I have some pink too. Something like that. And then I have a little ink spot here, plus it's kind of in a nice location for a cluster, so then maybe bringing one over here too. And I could do more pink. I also considered bringing in the elements of text, and bringing in some of these stamps here. So I could do like the circle stamp over here. That might look cool as kind of like a background there. And then I could do this one up along here, maybe in toffee, bring in some more of those lighter browns. So I'm gonna do some stamping and then play around with my embellishments. I also need a title, which I'm thinking maybe up here. I did some background stamping. So I used the circle one to get this. I used this one and stamped it here in first generation toffee. And then I used some of the splatters in second generation. So I stamped off and then back on. As you can see, you do want to be careful with these stamps. I had a little ink on the edges, but I'm going to try to cover that up. I have some sandpaper. You've seen me do distressing with it. It's just a little piece that I had cut out, and I might be able to sand it down just enough to hide that. Otherwise, I might need to bring in some embellishments up there, but I don't think it's too noticeable. There, it's already looking a little better, so I'm just going to work on that, and then we'll place some embellishments down and come up with a title. Close to my heart had these banner, they're like chipboard. So using the "You're the Best Part of My Day" stamp, I stamped that on there, and then I was playing around with some circles too, but I think I like the banner better, and just kind of bracing that and then having it kind of tucked behind some of these or something. I'm not quite sure on how that's going to look yet. I wanted a little more height over here, so I cut out the French press using the same mocha paper. I got a little off on my lid. You can see I glued it a little crooked, but I think it'll be all right. So I'm going to tuck this coffee cup back here, and I'm just going to use my Barely Art glue just so I can shimmy it into place. And I like seeing the handle poking out. I think it makes it look more like a coffee cup too. So I'm just going to tuck him back there. And then I want to glue this piece down first because the this tissue paper is see-through, so I don't really want to add adhesive there. So I want that right about there, so my coffee is going to go right about there. Oh. Okay, so I'm not going to push too hard yet so I can make sure it's in the right spot. And that looks pretty good. Okay, so then for this, I'm just going to add adhesive where that mocha paper is. So I can go along there, up here, and the little legs. I do need to be able to tuck my picture under, so I don't want the glue there. So I need to wipe off the glue on that half that's going to be touching my photo mat. And then this is one of those circles that were at the edge of the paper. So that one is going to look like it's tucked under that photo mat. I'm going to tuck it under this one and then just line it up with that corner there, or that edge. Okay, and then I have the "You're the Best Part of My Day." And I'm thinking this blue mug here and then this pink one maybe behind it. So we'll go ahead and adhere this pink one flush, and then I'm going to pop that blue one up on foam tape. I popped up this yellow one on foam tape as well. I am going to use my Documenting the Day stamp for my title. So I want a perfect day. I think I want to use some yellow. So I'm going to bring in my honey butter and mocha. I'm going to stamp them out first before I actually put them onto my layout. Day I'll need to fussy cut out since it's going on pattern paper. And then a perfect, it seems too far up. I want day to kind of be nestled into this cluster. So then I think a perfect needs to come down further. So I'm not sure if it's gonna go here or on top of the words, but either way, I won't be able to stamp directly onto the pattern paper. I don't think it'll show nicely. So I'm going to do those on white cardstock and then fussy cut them out. Now, documenting the day is part of the celebration sale. So if you spend $60 or more on my website with any product, you can buy anything as long as you qualify for that celebration, $60, you can get this for free. And it is a great title builder. You can definitely use this for any layout. That's what we're doing, is documenting the day when we scrapbook. So if you would like this in your collection, I'll have the link down below. I just flipped my Versamat over so I would have that foam, and I don't need to worry about getting my layout messy. So I have day right now, and I'm wanting that in the yellow. Now this is close to my heart ink. That is Stampin' Up paper, so it's not going to match perfectly, but I'm hoping it matches close enough. So we will stamp it and find out here. Giving it a second to soak into the paper. Let's see if that matches close. Oh yeah, I think that'll be fine. Once it dries, it'll kind of lighten up too. So then that'll be cut out. Do I want a perfect above it, or do I want it on it? I think I prefer a perfect to be above. So I'm actually just going to stamp it up here, and then I'm going to fussy cut it all out. So it doesn't really matter where I stamp it. And I'm doing this one in mocha. Just bring up a little more of that brown that we've been putting in our clusters. Perfect. Just going to leave a little white border so that if I make any mistakes, it's not as noticeable. I had mentioned that I don't have photos for this layout yet. My husband and I love visiting coffee shops. We go to a few in town, but we mostly like to visit them when we're traveling and just trying some new things. So I know this summer we're taking a little trip, and we always visit this one coffee shop that we absolutely love. So I'm kind of picturing that when we go on that trip. Maybe I'll document going to that coffee shop because we always visit it. I know we're going to. At home lately, I've been drinking more tea than coffee. I actually worked at a coffee shop for a while, so we're kind of snooty when it comes to our coffee, but lately I've been liking my tea. Are you a tea drinker or a coffee drinker? What's your go-to beverage? These letters are super easy to trim out since they're boxed like this. So, not hard to fussy cut at all. I fussy cut a perfect as well, a perfect day. And then I could add some journaling down here. I have some gems from this suite as well that I think I'll bring in. They're the adhesive backed swirl dots, and they came with this suite. So I'm going to add a few of those too, and we'll go ahead and get this adhered. Here is that finished layout. So I added some of those swirls, and I chose the pink ones since I had pink down in this other cluster. And I love this background stamping and the splatter. So I have one dot here, and then I finish that triangle over on the other side. So kind of, and I love how that splatter looks there. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Don't forget that this is discounted it's very discounted. So make sure to check out that link below if you're into this collection. I love this collection. I'm definitely going to be using it a lot more. Until next time, live a life worth scrapping. Bye, guys.